Right, well, from this to this in just a couple of hours. Here's the story. Plastic water bottles. One of the curses of the modern age. Would you believe 1,000 bottles a second are opened in just the USA? And where do most of them end up? In landfill or littering the streets. They can be useful though if you're a radio control modeler. I found one thrown in the road when I was walking back from the supermarket the other day. Quite a nice small shape, and I figured I might have a use for it for one of my radio controlled planes. This is what I did with it. So there it is. Well, not quite finished. As you can see here, I've actually made a small insert to go at the bottom of the cockpit. It's not glued in yet because I'm not quite sure what to do with it. And you might have noticed too, the way I cut that bottle, if I'd have been a bit clever about the way I cut it, in other words, made it a more rounded shape, I wouldn't have needed to put these little infills. But it was a bit of a learning curve. Should have been more careful. Gonna finish this off with a pilot in it maybe. Certainly felt tip that black. Might put a bit of a border around it too. I've made a few plastic bottle cockpits before. This is another one of my Lidl conversions, Lidl RC conversions, which I called the Little Hunter. There's a build blog for this online. What I did here was hollowed out the foamy cockpit and mounted the bottle inside. And as you can see, it's got a little pilot in it too, as does my mini Lidl Hunter, the smaller version of the cheap foamy big Lidl glider. Build blog for that's also on my channel. Incidentally, this pink one here, number 14 or might be number 15, I've built very light, no carbon, tiny little motor with the intention of it being an FPV machine. I've got loads of FPV cameras, but I've flown with drones, but I've never actually flown any with aircraft, and I'm hoping this can be a nice slow flyer, easy to control. As far as that goes, I've got a few cameras organised, and I actually had a bit of the bottle over to make a little bit of streamlining for a couple of the cameras that I'm planning to use just here. Getting back to the Lidls, I've built 14 or 15 of the big ones and 5 of the small ones, including a lovely biplane. And there's even my latest, which is a micro mini Lidl, tiny, that's even smaller than that one. Okay folks, let's jump on a day. Right, she is finished, and she's even got a little pilot. Let's take a look at that. I'm not going to go into detail about how I've put this together because it was pretty obvious, but basically just coloured the inside, felt tip pen, gave it a bit of better look around the edges, and made a little pilot that I've stuck on some cardboard. Incidentally, I don't know if I showed you this, but the way I fix the cockpits in on most of my Lidls is just a barbecue stick and a hole in a suitable place on the foamy, and that just slots into the hole. Need to find some way to fix that, but that's how I fix them. So I'm well pleased with this. I think it looks pretty good, and as I say, it's so light, I think it's going to be a really nice slow flyer. But I'll stop waffling on. If you want to see the maiden of this, well, it's already had one little maiden, but that wasn't great. If you want to see the maiden of this, and even better still, if you want to see it flying FPV, which was the plan for it, don't forget to hit subscribe down there, and if you've enjoyed this, please give it a like because it helps my algorithms. But that's all for now. Thanks for watching. Hopefully I'll catch you all again soon. Bye for now.